All right, guys, 236,000 miles on the clock. I got this recent check engine light. Running the OBD2 code reader and reading the code. P0717, input turbine speed sensor A, circuit no signal. So let's take a look at that. All right, so from what I can tell, it's the transmission speed sensor. So it lives down there, obviously on the transmission. So let's remove some of this air intake stuff. This screw here is just a temporary thing because I lost the original bolt and I didn't have time to go to the dealer for a replacement bolt. But anyways, this is 10 millimeter. Then undo the clip here. Oops. Let's see, pop these out slowly. Set this aside. All right, let's next remove the battery. Oh, there goes the nut, of course. J-hook. All right, let's get ready to remove the top half of the airbox. So again, 10 millimeter. And then there's a 10 millimeter here for the hose clamp. Loosen that up. And I know the camera's not gonna get it, but there's another 10 millimeter back here. And then for this mass airflow sensor, it's hard to see, but you can just get a small screwdriver and just pull up on that tab ever so gently and then pull the connector out. So I did that earlier off camera. And then I disconnect this hose here slowly. This guy. Apologize. You know, I'm trying to use this hands-free mount, and I know I'm not going to get every angle. Okay. Nice and slow. Okay. So while you're at it, you can, if you do, you can change the air filter. And so there's three, let's see, there's 3 more bolts in there for the lower part of the airbox. And then there's these bolts for this bracket that also needs to be removed. Okay, and then there's also 1 bolt here for this lower part of the vent. Okay. And this corner bolt inside the box is what attaches to this bracket here. Okay, so let's take out this bracket. Loosen this hose from this holder, and if you gently wiggle, you can get the bottom part out like so. And then you'll see this this hose should just come on out, I believe. Oh, it's actually... Yeah, so you just have to wiggle that out. You don't need to take that out. You can see where it, let's see, where it connects. This part of the vent connects here. All right, so that's the starter there. I replaced it before. And it looks like, yeah, I mean, it's obviously dirty. So I need to clean it out before replacing the sensors, because I don't want anything to go in there. But let me see. So this is pointing towards the front of the car, and we're obviously like near the driver's side. But I think one sensor is here. This connector connects to the one sensor there, and the other one is here. And so I forget off my memory which one's the input or output, but since I'm here, I'm replacing both. So yeah, let me clean up this area, and then as best I can, and then we'll go to the next step. All right, so I got these cleaned up a little bit better. You can see the one closer to the firewall, the blue one is the output sensor, and that part number is here, and you can see it's blue in the bag. And the one closer to the front of the vehicle, let's see, this black one here, that is the input sensor, and that part number is listed here. Again, so it looks like the input one is closer to the front. It's black in color, but that's the part number. And hopefully, you know, your other one's blue, and that number is here. So these should be 10 millimeter. Nope, they're not. It's maybe a 12. Hold on. All right, so I did it off camera, but it was 12 millimeters, and it was torqued on there pretty tight from factory, so I had to switch to a 3/8. But anyways, and then undoing the clips weren't too bad. The connectors, maybe do that first before taking out the bolts, but of course I didn't do that. So let's see, these are just held in with a O-ring. Let me get some pliers or something. All right, here's the other sensor. New one on the left, old one on the right. Again, a little ATF on the O-ring, and then torque it down and reconnect. As far as I can tell, is 8 foot-pounds or 96 inch-pounds for the torque. I mean, I don't think it really matters, just, well, you know, good and tight, don't over torque it. Okay, so you can see now the sensors are installed and the connectors are plugged in. I didn't see any cut wires or anything like that to suggest it was a wiring issue, as far as I can tell. And so yeah, it went pretty smooth overall. Make sure when you put the sensors in that you seat them all the way down. And yeah, okay, so back to reassembly. Okay, got that lower tube in. Make sure to put your hose back, and then again, remember that there's that little port thing into this box that needs to connect to. And then I think now we can do the bracket. Let's get that lower box. Make sure it connects back into the lower hose that you just put in. You can, it's hard to see, but you can visually see that the tube connects to the lower part of the airbox. air filter, and then top part of the box. All right. Top part of the airbox. All right, so the airflow sensor is connected, the airbox bolts are tightened up, and then these vacuum tubes are reconnected. So next is the battery tray, the battery, and the top air intake vent thing. All right, got the tubes reconnected. Got this reconnected, the clips clip back in, the tubes back in there. That's secure, and then the battery's reconnected. So let's do the function test and see if we clear the codes and if the check engine light turns off. All right, guys, good news. On startup, the check engine light just immediately turned off. There's no codes, and yeah, consider this a success. I know the video, it was a new setup that I was using, and it's kind of really hard to get the right viewpoint, but hopefully you can take away some useful things, even though the cinematography, the actual video capture wasn't that great this time. But I hope this helps someone. Again, I'm not a trained mechanic. This is just for educational purposes, and hopefully again this can help someone. All right, have a good day. Bye.